A suspect has been arrested and charged in a shooting last month that took the life of an area man. And a local woman has been given a life sentence in the death of her boyfriend's child. A two-vehicle accident on I-20 took the life of a local woman over the weekend, and charges have now been filed in a Halloween night stabbing in an area subdivision.
Temperatures continue to be way above normal for this time of year for another week. We will have the complete forecast for all of East Alabama coming up.
The regular season of high school football has ended, and coming up in sports, we'll tell you who made the playoffs. EAN Local News starts now.
This segment of EAN Local News is brought to you by Oxford Lumber. Come visit any of our locations in Oxford, Jacksonville, Talladega, and Roanoke.
Hello, we're glad you could join us. I'm Mike Stedham. Katie Edwards has the evening off. Talladega County deputies have arrested a suspect in the death of a Munford man last month. Thomas Austin Griffith was taken into custody last Thursday and charged in the shooting death of Jackie Kays, who was found by authorities at his home on Oak Grove Road on October 27th. Investigators say they believe the two men knew each other and were involved in an argument when that shooting occurred. An Etowah County woman who pleaded guilty to aggravated child abuse in the death of a 3-year-old girl back in 2021 has been sentenced to life in prison. Haley Metz was charged in the death of Adio Grace Damaso, who was found unresponsive in a bathtub by authorities during a welfare check. Metz's boyfriend, Nicholas Damaso, was the father of that child. He pleaded guilty earlier this year and was sentenced to life in prison without the chance of parole. A Cleburne County woman died Saturday night in a two-vehicle accident on I-20 within the city limits of Heflin. State troopers identified that victim as 28-year-old Haley B. Mayfield of Muscadine. She was killed about 7:15 Saturday night when her Toyota 4Runner collided with the tractor-trailer truck on the interstate. Troopers say she was not wearing a seatbelt at the time of the crash and was pronounced dead at the scene of that accident. Weaver police say they have now made an arrest in a Halloween night stabbing that sent a teenager to the hospital. A 15-year-old suspect was arrested a day after that incident and charged in the attack. The case has been turned over to the juvenile court system. The stabbing took place around 7:48 Thursday night on Bailey Road in the Buckhorn subdivision. When police arrived, they found a juvenile victim with an injury caused by a sharp object. Police say it appears to be an isolated incident between the victim and the suspect, who knew each other prior to that assault. Bikers, horseback riders, and runners are all invited to take part in one event this weekend. We'll tell you all about it in just a moment.
For over 60 years, Oxford Lumber has been servicing our area, and our customer service has always been our main focus. Our customer service is what sets us apart from anyone else. From the moment you enter, our highly trained staff will treat you like family.
To enthusiastically provide total customer satisfaction within a positive and self-fulfilling employee relations environment. Visit us at any of our 4 locations or at oxfordlumber.com.
Barrett Body Shop has moved to its new location on Highway 431 in Alexandria. Barrett has been delivering top-notch collision repair in Calhoun County since 2000. Our skilled team restores your vehicle to pre-accident condition with a commitment to quality and safety. Choose Barrett Body Shop for honest, reliable service. This segment of EAN Local News is brought to you by Waldrop Manufacturing, metal buildings made right here in Calhoun County.
The 3rd annual Tread Hoofalon starts Saturday morning at McClellan. This unique event brings bikes, horses, and runners together for a challenge that covers many of the various trails at the former Army base. It's being organized by the Northeast Alabama Bicycle Association, the Backcountry Horsemen of America, and the Anniston Runners Club, along with the McClellan Development Authority. The MDA oversees miles and miles of trails that are used by all three of these clubs in close proximity to each other. According to the organizers, the main goal of Tread Hoofalon is to get all of the local cycling, horseback riders, and trail runners together to socialize and learn about each other's sport. A secondary goal of this event is to raise money for the three clubs. Registration for the Tread Hoofalon will remain open until midnight on Tuesday, and the details can be found at treadhoofalon.com. Residents across East Alabama will go to the polls Tuesday to join people from across the nation in the selection of a new president. Local citizens will also have a few other choices to make as the state and the county levels. Democrat Greg Griffin faces off with Republican Sarah Stewart to determine who will be Alabama's Chief Justice. And Calhoun County residents will have 10 people to choose from for the county's Board of Education. The top 7 will take office for the next term. And people across Alabama will consider a constitutional amendment that would affect only the Franklin County school system and its property. A complete list of candidates is available at the Alabama Secretary of State's website, that's sos.alabama.gov. The polls open at 7 a.m. and they close at 7 p.m. statewide. If you've been looking for an opportunity to blow your own horn this holiday season, we have just the thing. Details in a minute.
Getting my car serviced is easier than ever with Buster Miles Automotive Group in Cleburne and Calhoun County. They pick up my car, service it, and deliver it back. Convenient, efficient, and top quality. Schedule your service today and see why Buster Miles Automotive Group is the smart choice.
This segment of EAN Local News is brought to you by WM Grocery, located in Heflin, Wadowee, Roanoke, and in Piedmont.
Members of the Cheehaw Winds are kicking off their Christmas music rehearsals this Tuesday evening, and they're looking for new members to join them. If you've been thinking about working with a community of music lovers, this could be the perfect time. The group welcomes musicians of all levels and abilities, so you're invited to grab your instrument and come make music with them. The details are available at cheehawwinds.org. Spring-like temperatures will continue for the next few days, but there is a slight chance that we might be seeing some rain ahead of us. Let's go over to John Holder, who's standing by in the EAN Weather Center to find out when we might see some raindrops.
Mike, we do have a little bit of moisture returning to East Alabama later on in the week. How much? A lot of that depends on what's happening down in the Gulf of Mexico. We'll have a complete forecast for all of East Alabama next.
Since 1993, WM Grocery has been a major part of our local community. WM offers the very best in fresh produce and an outstanding meat department. WM also has many local products not found anywhere else and fresh sushi every day. If you need an event catered, come see Mrs. K at any WM store. Curbside pickup is also available for your online grocery orders. Be sure to download the WM app for all the deals of the week and shopper rewards. Go check them out today at any of their locations.
We take pride in our community and appreciate your business.
EAN News would like to thank all our commercial sponsors. Go check out our sponsors' links in the description below.
Temperatures today across East Alabama in the mid-70s. That is still above normal for this time of year, but the big story has been the nighttime lows, and that will continue to be the big story for the next few days across East Alabama. Temperatures almost 20 degrees above normal for nighttime lows. Normally we're at 44 degrees. nowhere close to that. 62 for the low this morning. Record high temperature 84 degrees, the record low at 20. And big changes to the sunrise and sunset times with the time change this weekend. Look at that, 6:06 now, the sunrise in the morning. The big story is in the afternoon, the sun setting now at 4:48. Time for weather on your street. I've got a peaceful, easy feeling about tonight's forecast. Out on Claremont Drive in Weaver, going to be mild, going to be breezy. Temperatures about 61 degrees, a very pleasant evening out there in Weaver and all across East Alabama coming up tonight. Tomorrow, an even warmer day, mostly cloudy, very warm. We're going to touch 80 degrees again on Berkshire Drive in the Golden Springs area of Anniston. Should be great for Election Day. If you're out and about going to the polls tomorrow, the weather should be fantastic. No problems, nothing to prevent you from going and voting tomorrow. As we look at the rest of the work week, we've got some moisture coming in, slowly making a little bit of progress toward ending this drought. Some small rain chances at Marana Park in Gadsden, right there by Riverview Regional Medical Center on Rainbow Drive. Temperatures will be in the 70s for the rest of the week for highs. And as we said, some small rain chances ranging from 20 to 40% for the rest of the work week. Here's the 7-day forecast for all of East Alabama, and you'll see another dry day tomorrow. Temperatures remain well above the average. Again, temperatures are going to be about anywhere to 6 to 10 degrees above the average for the next several days. Best chance of rain actually looks like it's going to be on Wednesday, a 40% chance of a shower. The high at 77, 78 on Thursday, 74 on Friday. Rain chances again averaging about 25% during this time. The weekend forecast is a little iffy. We'll show you why in just a moment, but there is a disturbance down in the Gulf of Mexico that could develop into actually a hurricane that could bring us some rainfall potentially to East Alabama, depending upon where landfall is with this storm. But the one thing that's not going to change is the temperatures. We're going to remain well above normal for daytime highs and especially for nighttime lows, as we'll continue to be 15 to 20 degrees above the average for this time of the year. Let's talk about what we're looking at down in the Gulf right now. This is a disturbance. It's a tropical depression. It's expected to be a tropical storm, then a hurricane. This is going to come right over the western end of Cuba here into the Gulf of Mexico, weakening. The waters will be a little cooler as it gets into the northern Gulf of Mexico. Right now, this is sitting off the Gulf of, or should say the coast of Louisiana on Saturday morning. That could affect the Alabama-LSU game in Baton Rouge coming up on Saturday night. We'll see about that. This could change direction. Certainly, it could drift certainly more over in our direction, and that could throw some beneficial rainfall up in our direction for the weekend. We'll be watching that closely as we move through the rest of the work week. I'll be back here tomorrow morning bright and early at 6 a.m. with your Tuesday Day at a Glance. And then, of course, we've got more weather and more sports coming up throughout the week right here on EAN Local News. Coming up next, speaking of sports, a lot of high school playoff action. Big stories going on there. Jordan Smith has it all right now in sports. Jordan?
Thanks, John. On Friday, we updated you that the Coosa Christian Conquerors football team had to forfeit 5 games due to an ineligible player, which knocked them out of the playoffs. On Saturday, the AHSAA Central Board of Control held a special meeting to hear an appeal from Coosa Christian to overturn the ruling made last week. The decision was upheld by the Central Board of Control, and the Conquerors will miss the Class 2A playoffs, and their season ended last week. In a press release made by Coosa Christian, they stated, quote, "As a member institution, we can only abide by the rules and regulations as they are written, giving rules their plain meaning in context," end quote. We are now in the part of the high school football season where the chase for the blue map is on. If you win, you continue, and if you lose, your season ends. This week starts the AHSAA state football playoffs, where we have several East Alabama teams looking to still be playing football in December. Let's take a look at some of those first round matchups that begin on this Friday in Class 1A. Valley Head will travel to the undefeated Wadley. Victory Christian travels to Spring Garden. Donahoe made the playoffs Friday night. They will travel to Appalachian, and Raglan will travel down to Winterboro. In Class 2A, Sulligent goes on and takes on Pleasant Valley as Pleasant Valley hosts their first football playoff game since 1984. Sandrock will travel to Vincent. In Class 3A, Collinsville takes on the Piedmont Bulldogs at the Field of Champions. The Ohatchee Indians may have been the only team in all of football in the state of Alabama that did not play to make it into the playoffs on Friday night. Ohatchee wins a 5-way tie to be the number 4 seed in Class 3A Region 6. They will go into Fife on Friday. Weaver also got a big win over JB Pennington, which put them at the 3 seed in Class 3A Region 6 Friday night. They will travel to the Sylvania Rams, and Trinity will go on the road to Randolph County. In Class 4A, Westminster Christian goes up to Bobby Joe Johnson Field in Cherokee County. Alexandria travels to North Jackson for their first ever meeting. Anniston will travel to Randolph on Friday night. Madison Academy makes the trip from Huntsville over to Oaks Bluff. And in the south part of the bracket, Hanley will travel down to Mobile to take on St. Michael's. In Class 5A, Arab will make the trip to Bill Morris Stadium to take on the Moody Blue Devils. Jacksonville will travel to take on the Scottsboro Wildcats. Gunnersville will come to Leeds at Homer Smile Field, and Greenville will take on the Central Clay Volunteers at Volunteer Stadium. And in Class 6A, Buckhorn will travel to Lamar Field to take on the Oxford Yellow Jackets. Pell City travels up north to take on Fort Payne. Mountain Brook goes into Smoke Neck Tech at Southside on Friday night, and Gadsden City will travel to Clay Chalkville. That's it for EAN Local Sports.
Thanks for that update, Jordan, and thank you for watching us today. You'll find us every weeknight on Facebook, YouTube, our website, and on Rumble. Just go to the platform of your choice and watch our news, sports, and weather coverage whenever it's convenient for you. We'll see you back here Tuesday for your news on your schedule.